Now, for scientific notation, standard form, it's also known as standard form. Scientific notation is just basically taking and expressing really big numbers in terms or times 10 to the power. It's just basically trying to move the decimal. Now, you know you have a really big number if the value of a k, which is 10 is raised to that power. You know you have a really big value if k is positive, right? You know you have a very small value if k is negative. So for negative values of k, you're going to have decimal values, very extremely small decimals. But for values of k that are positive, you're going to have very, very big, massive numbers into the millions and billions and trillions and whatnot. So those are extreme cases. What's important to note when you're working with scientific notation, because you have multiplication, you could treat it and evaluate it on its own. So if you see this example here, I said I wanted to evaluate 3.8 times 10 to the power 8 and divide it by 3 times 10 to the power 8. Now, rather than bring it out and express it in normal form, I'm just going to evaluate it using scientific notation and the laws of exponents. So I know I could do 3.8 divided by 3, and that I know is going to equal 1.267 using my calculator. I don't know that. I need to use my calculator to evaluate that. And then I know I have 10 to the power, and because it's in scientific notation, they're always going to be the same base in scientific notation. So you just subtract the exponents. In this case, this is a simple example. It's 8 minus 8. So which is 0, that is 10 to the power 0, which is 1. So then you know your final result. In this case is going to be 1.267. So just be careful with when you're working with scientific notation. The final answer could be expressed in scientific notation, technically, but there's no need to write 10 to the power 0 in this case. So you would just write 1.267 and you would be done. So scientific notation is typically used for really big numbers. And when you're dividing a really big number by another really big number, you could end up with a result that is relatively small, like 1.267 anyway. So just be aware that with multiplication, there is a little bit more flexibility. If it were addition, you wouldn't be able to do this. It's just not going to work out. You have to have like terms.